All right, welcome to the first episode of The Panel, where smart founders discuss the realities of building better products and a better life. I'm one of your co-hosts, Justin Jackson. I'm the co-founder of Transistor.fm.
And I'm Brian Castle. I'm the founder of Instrumental Products and also Clarity Flow.
We just finished recording with our two panelists who you're going to meet in a minute, Tyler King and Colleen Schnettler.
That's a tough one to pronounce, but this went really well. Yeah, we just finished up. I really love the panel format. I was a little nervous about having four people on the mic, but I think we all handled it pretty well.
Yeah. I think the advantages of this format really came out. It'll be interesting to hear what people think. I think we can also say, like, I had a certain amount of nerves about this, like just, you build something up and you want it to be good, but you also know you have to just get in motion doing it. And so
totally,
I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning thinking about it, wondering how it would go. And yeah, I felt like this conversation was really fun.
Going back when I was younger in my life, playing in like bands and stuff, I always remember thinking like, all right, we need to practice and practice just to get to that first show so that we can get past the first show and then start to get good,
Yeah.
Because we know the first show is going to be a wreck. That wasn't the case today. I thought it was actually a really fun episode. And I think this whole show, or podcast, the panel is going to be really interesting to see it develop with different guests and then the same guests coming back for updates and sort of a rotating panel, if you will. But
yeah, we should say we got tons of great feedback from folks that signed up for our mailing list, and we still want to hear from you. So go to panelpodcast.com, sign up for that list, reply to that email.
We're reading every single one. It's really, really good.
We're eager to get all of your feedback.
So this first episode, we decided the timing works out. It's January 2025. We decided to talk about some predictions, and I thought having Tyler and Colleen on as our first guests were really great. Tyler, I've known for a couple of years. He's the founder of Less Annoying CRM. I'm such a fan of the name of his SaaS business. It's just awesome. We actually talked about that as like the marketing tactic that works. He and I snowboard together at Big Snow Tiny Comp for the last couple of years, and Tyler he podcasts at I believe it's called Startup to Last, one of these bootstrapper podcasts. Tyler's business, Less Annoying CRM, is one of those just like slow, steady, sort of boring bootstrapped SaaS companies that's been a long-term slow success story. Always good to hear from him.
Yeah, we had a nice mix of personalities and viewpoints. And Colleen, a lot of folks will remember her from Software Social podcast. Yep. She actually drops an announcement at the end of this episode that I think you'll want to like.
A little breaking news.
A little breaking news. Her and Leanna Patch.
Yep.
I should make sure.
Yeah, they're doing a thing called SaaS Marketing Gym, which is really interesting.
So this is everybody knows they should be doing more marketing. And they have kind of a cohort-based program where they're helping founders do more marketing, being some accountability. Sounds like it's going really well. And then she also has her own SaaS product called Hello Query.
Hello Query. Yeah.
People always make fun of how I say query. Okay. Yeah.
Well, hello. Canadians say a lot of things kind of weird. So
this is the thing. People can blame it on Canadians, but I think I just pronounce things poorly.
When I was younger, people gave me a lot of shit over coming from New York and saying words like forest and like.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I must say this is like the predictions episode, and I think in the first half, especially the first segment, it gets a little dark. Like, with where things are headed with AI and SaaS as an opportunity. I think we recovered as the episode went on, but
Yep. Yeah, we rounded out a bit, but that's good. That's like, you want to hear, this is the whole point, is that we could really dig into things. So someone could make a prediction and then someone else could say, well, wait, hold on. What do you think? What do you mean by that? Like, let's go a couple layers deeper. And as we kind of teased everything out, I think this nice kind of picture emerged where folks listening, I think there's just tons of actually actionable stuff in here. Like, it's not everything is going to be for every person. That's the whole idea behind the show. But I think most folks are going to get something that they can take away from this and go, you know what, that applies to me, or that's something I'm going to think about this year.
I got to say, that's what I'm probably most excited about. The fact that we will have this rotating panel is because I always like to pick out little nuggets from different people that I find interesting. And I just use it as like inspiration for me to go figure something out in my world. You know, I'm never going to be the person on a microphone telling you, listener, what I think you should do. I think that answer is always going to be different for each person. And that's why I think it's so inspiring to just follow along with different people's stories. And, starting with episode 1 of the panel, you've got the two of us plus two new people. And, I mean, they're not new at the SaaS game, but, I'm just excited for this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Let's hear the conversation. Hey, welcome to the panel where smart founders discuss the realities of building better products and a better life. I'm one of your hosts, Justin Jackson. I'm the co-founder of Transistor.
And I'm Brian Castle. I'm building instrumental products this year. And I'm excited here for episode number 1 of the panel.
Episode number 1, we've got 2 amazing panelists. First off, we have...
I'm Colleen Schnettler, and I am the founder of a SaaS called Hello Query. And I also just launched a marketing coaching business for founders called SaaS Marketing Gym.
We want to get into that today. And then we also have...
Hi, I'm Tyler. I am the co-founder and CEO of Less Annoying CRM.
Yes. And we picked you too because you've both been on podcasts before. You're both known to have some takes, and
you've been around the block with bootstrapping businesses for building a solid career. Both of you. I think this will be a really interesting episode.
Yeah. So Brian and I were thinking, like, what are we going to do first? And we thought, well, maybe a little predictions episode. We're in the first month of 2025. What do we think is going to happen? And let's just get right into it. You guys ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's start with like SaaS, bootstrapping, our industry. Colleen, I heard you've got a take. What's one of your predictions for kind of bootstrapping in general in 2025?
I think in 2025, SaaS is going to get harder.
Okay. Now, people have been saying
just
this for a while.
Just what we all want to hear.
Sorry, this is just...
Now, do you mean starting a new SaaS is going to get harder? Running an existing SaaS is going to get harder? What do you think?
I think it's going to get harder to start a new SaaS. I'm not sure about running an existing one, but we are seeing attention spans getting shorter. We are seeing AI cannibalizing search, and discovery is a huge problem now. We are seeing everyone spinning up these, I call them crappy little apps, but everyone's throwing out these crappy little apps as fast as they can. And so it's just, you can't get people's attention the way you used to be able to a couple of years ago.
Interesting. Tyler, you got a response to that? You were nodding your head.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're supposed to be debating, but I totally agree, especially with the crappy little app thing. So like my experience here is like I'm running Less Annoying CRM, which is a 15-year-old business with like major legacy code. And then on the side, I help my friend Rick's startup called Leg Up Health, it's not even a tech company, but it just has like this little simple web app. AI for me has been hugely valuable for that simple little web app that doesn't need to be all that sophisticated. And I don't want to say it's not helpful, but it's way less helpful for the legacy code. So I kind of like a classic bootstrapper advice is figure out what VC companies can't do and do that. And I think you could kind of take that same angle and say, well, figure out what AI driven new startups can do and do what they can't. And that's legacy. So I kind of feel like I agree. The market's just going to get flooded with the easy stuff. But it's not that much easier to do the hard stuff. So that's probably where the opportunity is, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and Brian, I know you've been thinking about this too.
I hate to make this like boring radio here, but like I'm definitely going to piggyback on the same theme. I just wrote up a blog post thinking through these predictions, and one of the headlines is the Bootstrapped SaaS is past its prime.
Oh, I didn't see this.
I haven't published it yet.
Okay.
It's
Tell us more.
I'm not saying bootstrapping a SaaS is dead. I'm not saying that you can't build a great business as a SaaS in 2025. Obviously, there are still great businesses going, and you can still start something up. I'm just saying that I think as an opportunity to start a new business, if you're going to choose SaaS as your business model, 2010 to 2020, that was probably like the golden era of bootstrapping and starting up a new SaaS business. And since then, even before AI came into the picture, SaaS has been getting harder and harder every year. Like Colleen was saying, that the competition sort of comes from all angles at this point. A big one, of course, is just the big players. It's harder, like the big players were always there in every category, but it is harder than ever now to convince customers to choose your small SaaS in a marketplace where the big tools are frankly just so good. Like they need a really good reason to choose the small guy over the big one. And that's harder and harder. Then like you were saying, like all the crappy little software then it's even competitive with the small niche tools. So the advice has always been like, well, just niche down and do a vertical SaaS that the big players won't even touch because it's way too niched, way too vertical. Even that's more competitive than ever. I mean, I feel like this theme is sort of informing all of my predictions for this year. Because I think that it's also like customers are more savvy about, and they have a much higher bar in terms of what they're willing to put up with in the software tools that they buy and use in their businesses. So look, every SaaS tool that we use or that any customer uses, there's always going to be some paper cuts that you don't like. Maybe 70-80% of it solves your problem, and 20% of it is like, I wish it didn't work that way, or I wish it had this missing feature. But they're probably not going to build your missing feature because it doesn't serve the rest of that SaaS's customers, And it used to be, well, like maybe for larger companies, the calculus was, do we build our own solution internally or do we buy any product on the market? And the answer used to be easy. Like, well, building is way too expensive. Hiring some firm to build us some custom software does not make sense to do anymore.
This is an interesting take. Yeah.
It used to be like easy to just say like, all right, we'll just go buy some SaaS, even if we have to buy the enterprise version. It's still better than like hiring someone to build custom software. That math has changed. You can use AI to build the perfect tool for yourself now. And so we're not only competing, we as like bootstrapped SaaS people, we're not only competing against all the other competitors, we're competing against the option of anyone just spinning up their own solution.
I think I've got a counter take on this, but Brian, I need to check. I think it says you're using your studio display microphone. Are you on the right mic? Just check your Riverside settings there.
You're muted now.
Yeah, now you got no microphone. Sorry, I would have, if I noticed it before.
Shit. All right. So do I have to leave and come back? Yeah, I see that I'm not on the right mic, but I can't select my good mic. It's like grayed out.
You should be able to leave and come back.
Okay, I'll try that.
That might mess up the recording, but we'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
So, Tyler, did you remember that we were in a podcast group together like 4 years ago? Remember when Cortland was doing the...
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You and Rick?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. How's he? Is he still doing his thing?
Still doing his thing, yeah. We're still recording the podcast. We miss software social, like I'm sure a million people tell you.
Is this audio?
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, now you're better. And if you could,
all right. So like the whole first part was like terrible audio.
It wasn't terrible. I think we'll just keep it. But
yeah, let's just use it. It's fine.
You need to turn up your input just a little bit though too. Just give me a little bit more gain. That's a bit better. Yeah. Okay. So SaaS is going to get harder. Here's my thought. I hear a lot of podcasts talking about AI and people feeling like, developers feeling like AI is going to make their job maybe redundant. Bootstrappers thinking this is going to make the landscape way more competitive. I'm still not convinced because there's so much more that goes into building a product, even on the engineering side. So like a semi-technical marketing jackass like myself should be able to use AI to build a product. And I've got enough tech know-how that I can see sometimes where AI is giving me advice that's not good. And you need to understand how, servers work and how the command line works. And there's a bunch of other glue, even on the engineering side, that it seems AI is missing. Maybe just react to that part first. From an end, all three of you are engineers. That part there still doesn't seem to be sure. Like my kids could probably build a SaaS app using ChatGPT, but could they really?
Disagree with you today. I just think that the trajectory that we're on it's just going to get easier and easier for people to not necessarily build more competitors, but just build their own personal solution, their own tools.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be a SaaS that's out in the market. It just has to be my personal metrics dashboard that I just use for myself instead of buying a metrics dashboard tool,
Got it.
Yeah. And that's not going to be the case for everything, but I do think that is the trajectory. That's just another new factor that's making it even harder for the SaaS business.
Yeah. What about you?
Add in all the rest of the competitive stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Colleen? What do you think about the engineering angle? Is that or?
I think as engineers, we're going to be putting the pieces together more because the AI is very good at these individual things, but it's not very good at the system level thinking is what I've seen so far. And I'm a heavy user of all the things.
Yeah. Which one do you use the most right now?
Well, I purchased Devin. Don't buy it. Not worth it.
Okay.
It's the really expensive one. It's $500 a month. And it actually, Tyler, have you heard of it or tried it?
No, but it's the one that had that demo that was completely fabricated, apparently, right?
Yeah,
I remember
that's the one.
now.
So the promise, so as a solo dev over here, like the promise was very high. But Devin is one where you actually set up a virtual machine and it connects into your GitHub. And so it will open the pull request for you.
Interesting.
It's a disaster. I mean,
shock.
Right? So bad. So I actually use Cursor Composer the most.
Okay.
Cursor.
But I still think it's just not that good. I think Brian's point is valid. It's going to get a lot better, but we're going to be, but let's take your example, your perfect example. You're technical enough. If you used Cursor Pro or whatever your AI tool of choice is, you could put something together and then you just hire someone super cheap to kind of put the finishing touches on. So I still think the barrier to entry is much lower now for someone who is kind of curious about tech to ship something.
Yeah. Okay. I'll respond to that in a sec. I'm interested to get Tyler's take too. What's your take on this?
I have 3 reactions, but I'll try to go quick. Number 1, Colleen, what you just said made me hear no code is really more in danger than SaaS. Like something you might have done with no code to prove out a concept and prototype it. Just code it now. But okay. And then I also want to reference something Brian said and something Colleen said. Number 1, AI is obviously this huge shift, but it's not just in how to build a product, it's how to get your product discovered. And AI is certainly making it harder to market, I think, especially because AI is trained on old data. So it keeps recommending SaaS from back in the day, which is great because we're old. And then Brian said, even without AI, the SaaS gold rush ended in 2020. It's not just AI. When I started Less Annoying CRM, we had a couple years of catch up before we were at our competitors. If you start a CRM now, you've got 15 years to catch up to us, and we're behind HubSpot and them. Maybe you can find some really, really obscure SaaS product, but I just don't think there's enough oxygen in the room for there to be room for a bunch of new competitors to come in and get enough money the way we could back in the day.
Wait, so can I just clarify, Tyler? You're saying you don't think people should be starting a SaaS in 2025?
I have a specific suggestion of what I would do. I'm not saying don't start a startup. But when I say SaaS, I mean like a project management tool, a Calendly alternative. Like I think all the oxygen's been sucked out of those markets personally.
I should just say, like, for this episode for predictions and maybe a general theme from my box on this podcast is I'm not going to suggest what anyone else should do. Like, I don't know.
It's harder. How about that? It's harder than it was.
I think everything is harder, but like everyone has different strengths, and you, listener, should do whatever your gut is telling you to do. I can only speak to like what I'm seeing here at my desk in my business, and that's going to be like my angle and things, I think.
Well, I love telling people what they should do, so I'll do it.
Me too, Justin. I'm with you.
Okay, there's so much I want to dig into here because I think Colleen and Tyler have brought up this interesting. The big question is, should you start a SaaS in 2025? Did the gold rush end in 2020? So, Tyler, what is your advice then for what people should do then?
So this is not proven yet, but the little side thing I'm working on has been a really interesting glimpse into a non-SaaS business, and that is it's basically a health insurance agency. The product is service, and I'm not saying like all new businesses need to be this exact model, but the technology is just that leg up. Sorry, the company's called Leg Up.
The brand.
Didn't mean to do that. But like, okay, you've got 1 million health insurance agents. They all do the same thing, but one of them has custom code behind it. You can just do a little bit better. And I think this is actually really similar to what Brian's saying about companies doing it internally. Like you can, the customer of the product could be the business that you work at, but the actual business is something else that's not just selling software to other businesses.
Yeah, and I'm saying this, again, I'm speaking about my own business because literally all the revenue right now in instrumental products is us building SaaS apps for clients. And I'm saying that my own business is like at a threat, like to the point where like I'm gonna be spending 2025 like pivoting to a different angle on this because I don't think that what we're doing to make money is really sustainable as a business.
When you say it's a threat, is this a threat you're seeing right now? Like you're seeing leads that would normally convert to customers saying, no, we're just going to build this ourselves? Or is this just, you feel like it's
Yes, to both. I have seen leads. Yeah, I see, because like what we do is we build like MVP apps for clients. Yeah. So I'm not like consulting with large companies and just working on their big software stack. Like literally we take an idea from nothing to here's something that you can offer to your first customers. And we do that. We have 3 of them in active development right now with clients and it's going well. But and to your point, Justin, like it does make sense, especially if you have the experience or resources to know like how much needs to go into a real SaaS product. That's why our clients do work with us currently. But yeah, I do see other clients out there and people in my network or in my leads pipeline who like could and are easily just whipping up their first MVP using Cursor instead of hiring a shop like mine for tens of thousands of dollars. You know,
here's my pushback on that is it doesn't feel like AI is ever, and maybe, I guess not, eventually it could, but it seems a long ways away before an AI is going to be able to replace a John Buda or a Brian Castle for building a product with good design and well thought through screens and just that whole crafting of the experience. So if I was hiring, like if I'm hiring you in particular, I'm like, I want the Brian Castle like thing. Like I want the whole crafting of the app. That's especially if I can't remember who said it, Tyler, but if there's going to be more of, or Colleen, it might be more of these cheap little apps out there with terrible user experience, bad design, and those little bits of a product where, if those little connections aren't working, if they're just tied together with duct tape, they're not quite great. That's the experience. That's what makes a product, even if it's an MVP, worth using or trying. So I feel like you're going to be more in demand now.
Well, it's interesting you say, like, I guess the thing that I'm really excited about and the direction that I don't know if you call this a pivot or whatever, but like, I think the workflow of building with AI is not write a prompt and have the AI spit back a finished product to me. It's working with the AI, like collaborating with the AI, knowing how to do that well. And then maybe, like working with like a human consultant or someone with design and product skills to help shape the direction. But the actual production and legwork of putting the pieces together is you, the owner, plus the AI. And so essentially the direction that I think that I'm taking going forward, this is not in action quite yet, but where my head is at is like, instead of us completely building the full stack from top to bottom for money, it should be us working with you to help you build your own vision with AI, with our assistance, community support tools.
Interesting. Tyler, Colleen, either of you have more thoughts on this?
You've got the newest SaaS here, right? Like, because the thing that seems so hard to me, it's not the building. It was never the building. That was never the hard part. It's getting anyone to notice you. Now, do you have a lot of competitors? What's the experience been like going from 0 to 1?
It's been pretty tough. I do have a lot of competitors. And, I'm doing this coaching for SaaS founders, and I have people at all different levels. So I have a couple people that are pretty early, a couple people that are pretty advanced. But I think what we're seeing, I know what we're seeing is people are inundated with all the things right now, right? Getting someone's attention. And this, could segue into like, what are the future channels that are going to work?
Mm-hmm.
Getting someone's attention is so hard. Getting someone to talk to you. It's not like, we all consume, or at least I consume all of Jason Cohen's content. And he's got that really famous article from like 15 years ago about how he found the first 50 people to interview for his WordPress hosting site.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work anymore because people don't care about startups anymore. They're hearing about them every day. So really, it's just getting attention. Distribution, I think someone just said this, but no, it's not just the code, right? The code is whatever. It's the distribution that everyone is fighting for, and it's so hard. And coming up against these, these VC-backed companies that can just throw money at the problem, it's just, you just have to get really creative.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is a great segue into the marketing growth section. I mean, Justin, I want to hear your take, and I think it's another one of these things that I'm just going to be like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah, I mean, one prediction I have is I think companies are going to invest less in social media marketing, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those things. I think when you might have normally had like someone on staff to do social media marketing, I think a lot of people are tired of social media. It's just like checked out. And I think it's just been harder to get attention on some of those platforms, a lot more competitive. Now, that's not to say, I do think there's still going to be people like those personalities that will get attention on those platforms, and that can be a great channel. But in general, I think we're going to see a pullback from social media marketing, and companies are going to be putting all of those dollars that would normally go in the social bucket into YouTube. I think YouTube is the platform that almost every company I talk to wants to do better on. Just where all the eyeballs are in our own like day to day. Like I come home from work, like I listen to podcasts on while I walk home from work. But as soon as I get home, I sit on the couch and I open up YouTube and I'm watching YouTube stuff. And we've got all of the we got, all of the streaming platforms, but we used YouTube the most. So that's one prediction. What's your guys' response to that?
Tyler, I feel like you and I have had this conversation multiple times. Like, is marketing bullshit?
It never works. And marketing never works ever. Well, I'm curious, Justin, just to make sure I understand, like there's one thing is I'm a YouTuber and I'm going to use YouTube to get an audience. And the other is like, I'm a marketer and I want to buy ads on YouTube. Which of those are you more talking about?
I think both. I think people are going to be creating more branded content. I think people are going to be, there's going to be more companies where there's a personality that fronts the brand and they are on YouTube. I think Transistor would fall into that bucket. I've been very much the face of the brand and it's been good for us. It has worked.
I feel like that's like tactically really difficult for a company to like invest in unless like, especially unless like one of their founders is a Justin Jackson who can go on. Like there are people that you can hire to like do video content strategy, but I feel like it's never quite as effective as if it's one of the founders on the camera,
Yeah. I mean, there's people Aaron Francis did it as an employee and I think he also can do it as a founder. I think there's going to be a lot of competition because I do think a lot of people are like, forget this social media thing. Like, it's just a headache. Like, I want off of it, But YouTube just feels like this safe space. It's where all the eyeballs are. They have all of these great tools. Like you can promote a video and get a bunch of views on it. You can promote a video and get a bunch of followers.
I do completely agree that YouTube is, if you're going to choose a platform to invest in, if you lump YouTube in with all the social platforms, it's sort of its own thing, really. But like, I really think that YouTube is the one and only that has like the best opportunity for exposure to like a wide audience of new people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like podcasts are fantastic, but you're not going to use a podcast to like gain exposure to a lot of new people. Whereas YouTube and the algorithm, like what really excites me about it, why I am investing in YouTube this year, is it really comes down to like your own creativity, and like it's like the best creative stuff that serves the right people wins. And YouTube's algorithm is actually really, really good at just serving your stuff to the right people. And that's how like you'll get exposure to more people. It's hard. Like it's not an easy thing to win at, but like the mechanics are there. Like YouTube will serve you up to more new people than like Twitter will or X, whatever.
Yeah. What about you, Colleen? Are you seeing anything in the SaaS Marketing Gym, like people trying it? And
I have some opinions. So first, I think both you and Brian have very prosumer businesses.
Yeah.
I could totally see YouTube working for you guys. And that's why I'm super curious to hear what Tyler has to say, because I think for more traditional B2B SaaS businesses, LinkedIn is the place to be. All of the people I'm working with have had really good success with LinkedIn. And it seems like a terrible cesspool of AI generated trash.
Yeah.
But once you get in there, because it is a terrible cesspool of AI generated trash, if you don't do that, it's really easy to stand out. When you do, like we do a lot of cold outreach, and people like have actually gotten customers from that cold outreach on LinkedIn. And this is more, like I said, more pure B2B, not really like B2 prosumer. So, and Tyler, I assume your business is more like that. So I'd be curious to hear what you think. But yeah, I'm LinkedIn for 2025 B2B.
Okay.
I like that.
I'm always wondering, like, who are these people on LinkedIn?
Right.
They're me,
like,
Brian.
actually reading their LinkedIn.
Yeah, I definitely don't think we're prosumer, but like on the spectrum of like enterprise to, we're small business, which is maybe to the right of prosumer, but to the left of enterprise. But I think all three of you are taking, like, you all are more influencery than I am. Like, you all have audiences. I've given up on that. I'm not interesting enough. No one wants to follow that. But especially the key thing is the people I sell to are not the people you all sell to.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Tyler's podcast. You should listen to it.
Thank you. Thank you. It's terrible, but give it a shot.
You might want to work on your pitch there, Tyler.
You'll get a full refund if you don't like it. But like the people I sell to are, insurance agents and small manufacturing companies. They both don't care what I have to say about startups because they don't care about startups or tech or business. And B, they don't care about CRMs. No one's like, this is a mistake I made over and over and over again throughout my career, is like, let's start a CRM newsletter or whatever. And like, who in their right mind would follow that, whether it's on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever? I'm looking at this from the angle of, I want to sponsor people on these platforms. I don't want a YouTube ad. No one's watching a YouTube ad and then buying a CRM from that. LinkedIn seems more believable. I've tried it, never gotten into work, but I could see it working. But like the YouTube Google
ads,
AdWords is what's missing. I want something like,
I think the sponsoring things on YouTube seems to work better if you like hire the influencer directly.
Yeah.
And you have them like talk about your product in the middle of their video, not a YouTube served ad, but
it's still such like a brand impression thing versus like a performance marketing. Someone's going to convert after they see your ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what is working for you, Tyler, in terms of marketing and growth? Like, where are you getting your customers right now?
Yeah, no, nothing works. Marketing's bullshit. I've talked with Brian a bunch about this. Like the dilemma is nothing we ever do seems to work. And this is actually, if I can turn this into one of my predictions, nothing we ever do works. And yet our business as a whole is working.
Okay.
And so one of my predictions here is I think that there's all these people who are better at like leveraging tricks, who are like, oh, I found this weird, where the algorithm rewards this, and for like 6 months, I'm going to get a lot out of it, and before they shut it down. I've never gotten anything like that. I think it's harder and harder to do that because there's so much AI slop in there and just competition in general. I think the patient, I don't know how you go from 0 to 1, but once you have some customers, just serve them well, get word of mouth, make your product better, offer really good customer service. And then the thing I'm trying, I can't say this has worked, but I'm trying to figure out how to build viral loop features into my product. CRM is naturally not at all a viral product, but we're building like a little form tool right now, maybe appointment scheduling one day. I'm hoping that can turn my current customers into more customers. That's my bet. Right?
Okay. So when you get a customer and you ask them how they found you, what do they say most of the time?
Most of the time, something like, oh, I don't know, I heard about you.
Okay.
We've done the thing
Word
where
of
when they
mouth.
sign up,
Happy customers tell other customers. Right?
Yeah, I mean, word of mouth is one channel, but there's got to be something else in that mix.
yeah, because we're getting like 1,000 free trial signups a month. So it's not like no one's coming to us. We can probably attribute maybe 20-30% of that to like a specific ad click or something like that. We do advertise. The ROI is terrible. If that were our only growth, we would be out of business. But yeah, there's like 70% of it that's kind of unattributed, and it's something between word of mouth. But buying a CRM is a really long journey. So most people are like, oh, I've just known about you for years. I don't remember the first time I heard about you. It's that type of thing.
Okay.
I really do think that in the case of less annoying CRM, it's I can't help but think that it's as simple as the brand name. I mean,
We do get people like that. I was looking through a list of 100 CRMs,
especially
and you
in the CRM space where there are like 1,000 CRMs to choose from, you're not going to remember the name of 99% of them, except for maybe HubSpot and that weird one called less annoying CRM.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something when you're looking at a long list of CRMs, like it's going to stand out,
We do hear that.
But like that, I guess my one prediction in the marketing thing, and this is again to sort of piggyback on why I think YouTube works, but in general, like one of my little headlines here is like human content is king.
That's what I was thinking. Yes. All four of us. That was basically, I think, the center touch point.
Yeah. People are craving the human connection, but the human driven like realness. And you're already seeing it, right? That's why YouTubers do really well, is because people are connecting with them on video and they're growing. But you're seeing other things. In Google, most of us have started to like abandon using Google to like find the things that we need to find. But I still go to Google, and the links that I do click on in Google are Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And why do I go to Reddit? Because that's where the humans are.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to get an opinion from people instead of somebody who like SEO optimized the hell out of some article that's a bunch of fluff and not helpful, or an ad.
Ironically, a lot of the AI LLMs are using Reddit as source material.
Yeah. So of course, there we go.
Transistor, we invested a ton in Reddit just because it felt real and that's where people were hanging out. But it had this ancillary benefit of now the LLMs are recommending these products that came up in Reddit posts 2 years ago, right? So
Are we all getting recommended do we hear from customers that say ChatGPT told me about you?
yes,
I've seen a few for like
I'd
clarity.
push back. I think it's still not the majority.
No.
Organic search for us is still way more. We're getting way more customers from regular organic search on Google than ChatGPT. All these, they're showing up, but it's still not. It's maybe 10-15% right now.
The reason I ask is, have you noticed what ChatGPT cites when they recommend SaaS products? Because it is Reddit, or it's like the Fit Business top 10 CRMs. It's not like they're not doing like an algorithm type thing like Google is and trying to figure out what the best CRM is.
Yeah, it's. I'm seeing Reddit posts and posts from affiliates, honestly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we just happened to get lucky in this sense. We invested in affiliates and in Reddit and in content, and it ended up that's where a lot of these LLMs are getting their stuff from right now.
And like anything else, I feel like especially in the marketing category, it's like what works for one business is going to be completely different for the next and the next and the next. That's always going to be true.
Yeah.
I also just want to tag like podcasts in general. Like it's not a great way to for that discoverability and like exposure to wide audiences, but it's in some ways like the ultimate human content.
Yeah.
Like people are really, really loyal to their top 5 favorite podcasts, and they don't miss an episode, and they know like everything about those hosts, and they literally give them like an hour of their time every week. I mean, that's kind of a crazy level of attention that podcasts can demand. I mean, I'm not going to venture too far into politics here, but the 2024 election, a lot of people, you could make the argument that like podcasts were like the most important media in that election,
Yeah, I'm itching to bring up something adjacent but new. Colleen or Tyler, do you have anything else to add to what we were just talking about?
Talk about it all day, but you probably don't want me to.
I mean, I think on this topic, maybe I'll present the other side which is I think there's going to be tons of opportunity because this whole AI wave is going to produce tons of really shitty apps, tons of really shitty customer experiences. And I want to drill down into one, which is AI customer support. I hate it. I have never, ever had a good interaction with an AI chatbot. There's an app that we all know. We all use it for newsletters. They have an AI bot. And I'm like, this is the most annoying thing ever. And Transistor's invested, like we have a team of 6 people. 2 of those full-time people are real customer success people who answer live chat and email all day. I am doubling down on that. We just hired someone else full-time. So now we have 2 people doing it. This is the most important thing. I think it's always been the most important feature of SaaS. Adi Pinar has this great old talk that he gave way back in the day where he said, the most important part of SaaS as a service is the service.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't agree more with that.
there are going to be so many opportunities like this where people are trying to do the cheap, efficient, automated thing. And what wins is real human beings that actually care. Go ahead.
I agree. Asterisks.
Yes.
Two points I want to make to this is, first of all, I love the AI chatbot on Canva.
Okay.
It's awesome. And that's because I signed up to Canva. I wanted results immediately and I didn't want to read the docs. And so all it did was do a good job of parsing the docs for me and telling me what I needed to know. And then I pay for this other service, which is $100 a month. And they have a real live human, but the human doesn't know any of the answers. So, so this whole customer support thing is tough because if you're hiring a call center in the Philippines and, or wherever, and that person is not, even though they're a real human, if they don't know about your product and they just, it doesn't do you any good. So I think it's hard to find that balance there.
Yeah. This is like the whole thing is like, what are the advantages that small companies have? And in the beginning, it's the founder cares more than anybody else. So at the beginning of Transistor, from the moment I woke up, which was sometimes 5 a.m, till the moment I went to bed, which was sometimes midnight, I'm just answering support tickets all day. I'm doing things that don't scale. And that paid off. People told their friends. And then eventually we were able to invest in hiring Helen, who's amazing. And she could give that same level of service. She backed off some things. I was doing some things that were too much, but she's able to give this very high level of service. And I think this is the thing about building a business is if you're going to be small, you've got to get every advantage that a big company. I often joke, like, people say, what's the difference between, starting our podcast on Spotify for creators? And I said, well, Daniel Ek isn't answering your live chat requests right now. That's the difference. And that's where you can kind of stand out.
I'm going to totally agree with you and maybe disagree at the same time. I want to stay optimistic about what I was saying earlier when I said that Bootstrapped SaaS is past its prime, because I do think that the flip side to that is exactly what you're saying. In 2024, I hired a customer success person for my SaaS, Clarity Flow. She's awesome, and she still does it today. And that's been my big investment in that business. And I literally cut the other marketing channels that we were doing to only focus on her serving the customers and personally onboarding the customers. And that's been great. And you're totally right that is the difference between us and the big competitors. I mean, we've all experienced this, like you said, the AI chatbots that are completely useless, but also even like the human support at the large companies. If I send in a feature request to a big name, big SaaS tool, like I almost never do it because I know that like whatever I send in, they're going to come back to me with their canned response, like, thanks, we'll add it to our list and for considering in the future roadmap, which I know, like, no, you're not. Like, I don't know what my email just went into, but it's not, but like, yeah, we as a small SaaS, we get the requests and we can literally build their requests in a couple weeks, But that alone does not grow a SaaS business.
Yeah.
We grew, it was a positive year, but not a raging success. And just offering great, like highly competitive support is not enough to overcome all the headwinds
No, it's
in a small SaaS business.
Yeah, it's necessary but not sufficient. I want to get to Tyler's take in a second, but I just also want to call out the listener right now. I want to hear in the comments on YouTube or wherever else whether you've had a good experience with AI chat support. I want to hear people's responses, because maybe there are more cases like Canva. I got to try that one out.
See,
where the
this is
experience
awesome.
is good.
Like co-hosting a podcast with a real marketer. This is good.
All right, Tyler, what's your take on all of this?
So customer service has been our whole thing the whole time. I think we have 18 people right now, and 8 of them are customer service, and we pay them very, very
Wow.
well. It's a huge investment for us. And I agree with you, Justin, but I'm not sure the trend is making it more of an advantage. And here's what I mean. Most companies have been using chatbots since before the LLM wave, and they were even worse.
Yeah.
I think the bar was so low that customer service from other companies can't get worse. Real human customer service is still much, much better, but the gap has narrowed a little. And so the conversation we're having internally right now is, how do we make this even more of an advantage? And like, for example, we're trying to figure out, I don't want to say force, but like highly encourage people on the phone to get on the phone with us. Because the more we're chatting with them, even if it's a real person behind it, it still feels a lot more like a chat.
Yeah, I want to like, that's something we're trying to. We just made this simple change, which is I send every new customer an automated email saying, hey, it's Justin, how did you find us? What brought you here today? We get great responses to that. But then in the PS, we say, hey, Michael is on our customer success team. He would love to book a call with you. Here's his SavvyCal link. And he's been doing these Zoom calls. Best thing ever. Best thing ever. We're getting people right when they sign up. And not everybody does it. He can't, but there's enough people that do it. He gets this steady stream of people. When he gets overwhelmed, we just remove it, pump the footer for a while. I think this is such a great strategy to get on the phone with people. And if the lifetime value of a customer is, in the thousands of dollars, that's a pretty good investment. You just have a little phone call with them. They will remember that forever. And you get all this great customer research as well. Colleen, you were going to jump in on that, or?
Team humans.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Anything
do we got
else?
next?
Anything else on this, or we want to go to the next thing?
I say we
Good?
roll on here. Yeah.
Well, so now we're in the last kind of bit here. We've been going for a while. Do we want to do one more prediction, or do we want to just switch gears here and end the show just by doing a round of what everyone's working on?
Yeah. I mean, why don't we go into like what are we working on?
Well, I've got one saucy take that we could
Okay.
remove or not remove, but let's just get your take on this. Okay, so one saucy prediction. I'm thinking I might short Tesla stock in 2025. Here's my thinking. I think the valuation of that company has always been attached to Elon. I think a lot of it now is attached to the fact that he's kind of cozy with the incoming government. I don't think that's going to last. And so I'm wondering if we should all short Tesla stock in 2025, because I think he's going to, that buddy relationship, that buddy comedy is going to turn into a tragedy in 2025. Short Tesla stock. What do you guys think?
So we just bought a Tesla and we love it. So that's all I have to say about that.
I'm also a Tesla owner.
Obsessed.
Me too.
I got a
Okay.
Nissan Leaf last week. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Model Y. We've had it for like two or 3 years, and really like it as a car. But I do agree with. First of all, it's just I don't really buy individual stocks. I just do the boring index fund thing. But the thing with Tesla, I don't know whether. See, I have a hard time believing that it's necessarily like the Elon thing or the politics thing. Like that noise is always going to be there, and it's whatever. It is what it is. But I think that the reason why I would probably agree that Tesla isn't a great investment is that the products are like, I like our Tesla, but it's the competition. Like there are so many other great electrics coming on the market now that there's just a lot of really good options.
I wish
So
Hyundai
like from a
would just
product standpoint,
hire
it's not as exciting as it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, their sales have been disappointing in 2024. Like, I think they sold 150,000 Cybertrucks or something like that, like way less than they thought they would.
Yeah.
They're not
Like
selling as many vehicles.
I'm on the waiting list for the next Rivian thing that's coming out in 2026. Like that seems more exciting to me from a product standpoint.
Yeah.
And like that, the excitement around Tesla as a product seems like a ship has sailed a little bit.
They're still the best at software. Like that software experience in the Tesla is very good.
I don't like.
I want to push back though. None of this matters. None of this matters. The price of Tesla stock has nothing to do with how good the product is or how good the software is or whether people buy it or if they have any revenue. It's a meme stock. It's a meme stock. It's like arguing what should the value of Bitcoin be? Like, whatever some idiot's going to pay for it. Sorry, no offense if you buy Bitcoin. But like, it's completely detached from reality. And I hope you're right, Justin, but shorting it strikes me as pretty risky given how random it is.
Okay. That's what I was looking for.
Sorry. I came in guns blazing
where's
there.
Our fire emoji? Yeah. All right. That's great.
I don't know. I do see a lot of these cyber trucks driving around Connecticut or around here. It's crazy that
There's
people
a ton here.
buy them, but like I'm seeing more and more of them around here.
But the numbers are super bad for them.
I'm sure they are. Yeah. But my kids love calling them out whenever they see one.
Yeah. Of course. Okay. Well, let's end here. I think because we did a 2025 episode, it'd be good to just do a little round table about what everybody's individual plans are for 2025. So, Colleen, let's start with you. What's kind of the goal? What's the plan for 2025? I know you got SaaS Marketing Gym. What are you working on this year?
Yeah, so I have two things. Well, actually, side note for your listeners, I'm trying to sell my micro SaaS, Simple File Upload. Makes $2,500 a month.
Ooh.
DM me if you want to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. So I hope to get rid of that. That's been a project I started as a fun side project and have just ignored while I've worked on other things. Makes a little bit of money, so that's nice.
$2,500. Not most SaaS don't even make it to that, right? I know people have been working on apps
awesome
for longer that have way less MR than that. So
I mean, is this like breaking news a little bit on episode 1?
Yes, I've literally have not told anyone until right this very. Okay, so it's funny. This is breaking news because I haven't told anyone this except you guys right here. You're the first to hear.
I just think it's awesome that you even, pitched it. Like usually we hear about someone selling their SaaS like after it happens. Like I've had to be like tight-lipped about this and now it's done. But like you're just like it's here if anyone wants it. So
we should have done it. Should have done this as a live stream and done an auction.
Right.
That would be amazing.
Hey, can I hear 25? We just get it going. All right. So selling simple. Is it Simple Upload?
Simple File Upload.
Speaking
of like great names, when you were talking about less annoying CRM, it's got great SEO because people like just type that in. How do I do simple file uploads?
Yes.
So I'm like number one. Great SEO for that one.
Okay, so selling that. And what else are you working on for 2025?
Yes. So I've got another SaaS called Hello Query, which is a reporting tool. And that's very touch and go right now. That's trying to figure that out. Don't have product market fit with that one. And then I started SaaS Marketing Gym, which is kind of a coaching thing and kind of a community thing. And that has been a blast. So I feel like my one goal for 2025, if I had to pick, would be figure out how to take SaaS Marketing Gym and grow it into something bigger than what it is. Because what it is right now is I work with the brilliant Leanna Patch, who's a great copywriter.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to have her on the panel at some point.
She'll be panelist. She's hilarious. So that'll be fun. And what it is right now is founders come to us and we build them a marketing plan. And then we have daily office hours, 4 days a week, where they can come and execute on the plan that we built them. Because what I see, especially now with all these AI tools, what we're seeing the most is it's just people are overwhelmed by choice. Like, for example, you need a social media scheduler. You could spend a week just trying to figure out which of the 5,000 social media schedulers you should use. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a huge waste of time. Just pick one. So we kind of remove those barriers of tools and marketing and what to do. It's just like, you just have to execute and people fall down in the execution stage because they're overwhelmed by choice.
Yeah. I'm so interested in what you're doing there. I mean, I DM'd you about it, but I've been excited about what you and Liana have launched with SaaS Marketing Gym, right? I feel like I could like do a whole other podcast with questions to pick your brain about it. But I like what's interesting to me is that you're doing it daily, like every multiple days
Thursday.
A week? Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Yep.
Yeah. So like, how do you find it as a business for you to run? Like, do you enjoy doing it? Does it drain your energy?
No, I love it. you don't really have to prep for it. And much like Justin, my favorite thing to do is tell other people what to do.
That's
so we have a
product market
blast.
fit right there.
Right. So I love it. And Leanna is, she's so great with copywriting, which is what has been fun is I've gotten so much better just like through osmosis.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have this funny story where I'm trying to get Hello Query into the Heroku add-on marketplace. And the Heroku rep is like ignoring me. I've emailed this guy like 5 times. So I start hanging out with Leanna and I just sent him this email that's like, what do I have to do to get out of Heroku jail? And he responded right away. And he was like, what's Heroku jail? And I was like, oh, this is how you get people's attention.
Yeah.
That's
So
brilliant.
it's been fun.
That is brilliant.
I love that.
Cool. Tyler, what about you? What's on the docket for 2025?
My general, the way I am in life is I'm really excited about very boring stuff. So the short answer is just like,
Again, you got to
keep
work on
on.
your slogans, Tyler.
I'm excited. Yeah, like we've been in business for a long time and I just want to keep doing it. In particular, like, again, I just think that there's so much competition and so much just mess and low quality stuff out there that I just want to be a higher quality product. Like, growth is my focus. We're more or less plateaued. And now we're plateaued at a point that's fine. We're making money. Like, it's not a urgent problem, but it's fun to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to grow, but the way I want to do that is by making the product better, which everyone says doesn't work, and it's never worked for me, but maybe this time it'll work.
This time. After 15 years, this is going to be it.
Yeah, this is it.
This is the killer feature. It's coming.
I'm happy to get more specific, but I'm as a founder, I'm like, we have marketing going. It's not that we're not doing marketing. It's just like, that's a machine that's going. I am really focusing all my energy on product this year.
Awesome. And you have 18 people right now?
Yeah, something like that.
And are you hiring in 2025 or what's the story on the people front?
Yeah, basically, no, we're pretty plateaued. We're in an interesting spot where if we were to hire everyone on the team agrees, we'd want to hire a developer, but I'm kind of the main product manager, I guess, and we have a kind of designer or contractor, but the dev team has gotten a lot better over the last couple of years, which is a lovely problem to have. We're shipping stuff faster than ever. I think we're working on higher impact stuff. All great. For the first time in my career, I'm really appreciating how important product and project management is. I'm having a lot of trouble keeping up. Like just this morning, we were writing stuff out on a whiteboard and I was like, I have to design 3 major features in the next 2 weeks because everyone's about to finish everything they're working on. So I don't want to hire because I don't want to replace myself. This is the job I want to do. But also hiring another dev puts even more pressure on me and probably lowers the quality of the design and stuff.
Yeah. I'd love to have
Justin,
you come back at one point. And I think another great thing for us to discuss is how long can we do this, Tyler?
Forever. I'm just trying to distract myself until I die.
This is one of the things with the panel podcast, which is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of rotating guests coming back through and doing updates.
I would love to talk about that. I've got so many thoughts.
And when you guys do that, you should bring on like 2 people who have already sold their businesses and do like a little compare and contrast.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. It'd be like, when do you sell? When do you keep going?
That's right.
I'm super curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Justin,
me too.
what do you have coming up in your world in 2025?
I mean, we've got some exciting stuff we're working on. I did this big research report on, like, I just wanted to know how big the podcast industry was. And so using Claude as my research assistant, I went through just tons and tons of source material, like financial statements from big public companies. And I tried to estimate the best I could how big the podcasting industry is. And one of the reasons I did that is because I thought a lot of the public numbers were bullshit. Just like no sources given, just is it Statista? Or, you look up research and you see those charts and it's just like, we're just, put your hand up in the wind and try to guess.
Hey, I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. Just got to get my kids off the bus.
Yeah. So I estimated that. And the biggest part of the podcast industry is ads. So podcasting is a $5 billion a year industry, which is actually quite small. I think for all the press that podcasting gets, 5 billion is like not that much. I think Facebook did 150 billion in revenue. So our entire industry is doing maybe 5 billion a year, and 2 to 2.5 of that is ads. So we have an ads feature, but we want to make it better, more tracking, all these kinds of things that marketers and advertisers want. So we're going to add some of that stuff and probably not hiring. We just hired Michael full-time last year. So I think we're going to wait on that. And then there is this bigger existential question, which is podcasting on YouTube is a bigger thing. And if you look at younger people, when they think about a podcast, they really think about it as something on YouTube and not something you listen to Apple Podcasts on. And so the thinking about YouTube and how it's going to affect audio podcasting is something I did a lot of thinking about that in 2024. Going to do a lot of thinking about that in 2025. I think my theory, and we've already seen this, is that we're actually, I think audio podcasting itself won't grow a ton. Like it'll have like maybe a 15, 20% growth this year as a whole category. And a lot of that will be off the coattails of YouTube. So people will start a show on YouTube. We're already seeing this. And then they get somebody saying, hey, I want to listen to this on Spotify or Apple or Pocket Casts. And they go, oh, how do you do that? And they Google, how do I do that? And then they eventually find us. So
I do think it's really interesting, the relationship between YouTube and podcasting, and even my own behavior as a longtime fan of podcasts, like listening to a lot. There's like a few podcasts that I exclusively consume only through YouTube, and usually in their clips. So like, usually the playbook for like a Conan O'Brien's podcast is one that like I never listen to it on audio, but I'll watch a 12-minute clip of an interview on YouTube all the time.
Yeah. So we're keeping an eye on it for sure. It's a threat, but also an opportunity. One thing that has always been nice is when I remember talking to Nathan Barry about Substack, and he was really worried about Substack coming in with free newsletters, and it's just turned into a great top of funnel is having all these people that start on Substack, and then they want, the customer service, they want the features, they want whatever, and then they eventually come down to Kit. So there's actually maybe an opportunity for everybody there. Where are there big kind of free funnels out there where these well-funded companies are increasing the market, but you can go that, like, down funnel?
It does seem, I can't help but think that podcasts are really growing and sort of like finally having a moment as like a media. Like it literally feels to me that like podcasts as a media outlet are way more important than like television was.
It could be. What we're waiting on is the IAB releases numbers every year about what's the value of podcast advertising. So last year it was $2 billion. And so we're going to see if all this political advertising that went into podcasting, if that increases it. December 2024 was one of our best months ever in terms of growth. So I think, again,
it just seems like the reach especially for large audience, people with large audiences on both YouTube and podcasts. It's like really, really well-known celebrities that you see on television have a fraction of the audience that like a Joe Rogan has or a Mr. Beast has.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like, tens of millions of people tuning into them, whereas like the highest rated television shows might have like 1 million.
Yeah. It's difficult to see how that will affect our business. I'm expecting optimistically that podcast hosting as a category increases 15 to 20% this year, which is about on average what it's done for the past 15 years. It's one of the nice things about the category is it just grows 15 to 20% every year. But Transistor had increased the number of shows on platform last year by 33%, I think.
Wow.
So 33% increase in number of shows. So there's some good growth there. Yeah. What about you, Brian? What are you working on 2025?
Like I said at the beginning, I'm really rethinking the direction for instrumental products. One of the things that I'm very much looking at and interested in is sort of what Colleen is doing with SaaS Marketing Gym. It's super raw, like the clay is being formed right now, but I'm thinking through a similar concept, not on the marketing side, but on the product side. Some sort of small cohort community workshop, coaching, support sort of model to help you build your own tools, whether it's using AI or using Ruby on Rails, which is the stack that I choose. I know Colleen builds with Rails as well. And yeah, I don't know that it necessarily looks like a training course. I'm thinking more like a done with you support sort of model. That's what I'm thinking through, like what a funnel for that could look like. Maybe like workshops, like putting on mini workshops as like the top of funnel. And then that sort of leads into a cohort, into community, and then into a line of tools. Rails components is going to be the first one. I'm working on a Rails editor, like a block editor thing. And there will be just a line of tools, a community, some coaching done with you kind of stuff, all aimed at helping builders build.
That's a good tagline. I'm actually interested to hear, again, for listeners, because
Sorry, somebody's at the door now.
a lot of you guys mentioned, oh, maybe I should just wait for him.
I'm going to have to run like pretty much now, by the way.
Okay, well,
Sorry
we can
about
close it
that.
up.
I mean, feel free to continue without me, but
No, when Brian gets back, I'll thank you for being here. And then we'll put all your guys' stuff in the show notes. Like we're going to either have intros or outros that kind of describe what you're doing in more detail. If there's specific links you want to promote, then I can also do that on our outro here. Tyler's got to run, Brian, so I think we should just wrap it up. How do we wrap this up?
Bye.
Well, okay, well, we did it. Like this, we had our first episode of the panel. Tyler and Colleen, you were amazing panelists and guests. Thanks for being here.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, great job. And thanks for coming on short notice. And man, episode 1, we did it, the panel.
I'm
All right.
excited to listen to
Here we
the
go.
following ones. This is a cool idea for a show.
I do want to say that we want to hear from folks. And so there's a few things coming that I think we can tease here. One, Transistor is building a new feature where if you reply on Blue Sky, those become comments underneath the episode. So look for that. We're going to have a not a Savvy Cal. We're going to have how come I can't think of your app, Brian?
Clarity Flow.
Clarity Flow. We're going to have a Clarity Flow app where if you've been feeling this whole time like you want to get in on this conversation, leave us an audio or video recording. That'll be at panelpodcast.com/respond. You can also email us at panelpodcastshow@gmail.com. And this will be on YouTube. You can leave a comment there as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. And I think this panel format is really interesting. It's going to be awesome to do it and have some fresh faces and then returning folks. So we definitely have to have Colleen and Tyler back on at some point. So.
And just so we have it, Colleen, where can people find you? What's one link you want people to go to right now?
SaaSMarketingGym.com.
Perfect.
But you can also find me on the internet at Leany Burger.
Leany Burger. Yes. Do you have leanyburger.com?
No, but I should.
Oh, I think you got to register that right now.
Yes. Great idea.
And how about you, Tyler?
Fast casual food chain business in the works here.
And Tyler, what's one link you want people to go to right now?
If you'd like to listen to my mediocre podcast, it's startuptolast.com, hosted by Transistor.
Maybe your thing is you just have the worst.
I just neg myself over and over.
Awesome. And all of the links will be in the show notes as well. Thanks, everybody. This is great.
Thanks, guys.